It's an honor to be a presenter today, a day where every case considered is Hall of Fame worthy, an amazing result on each of them. However, a review of all the cases will show one massive difference why the Ruehle versus California Republican Party should win this. Because unlike all the other cases, Ruehle is the only one here where every person that has a vote has sat across the desk from this exact case. And after tonight, you will find yourself fearing that you might have potentially rejected it or settled it too early. Having seen this exact case, each of you will be able to recognize it and relate to the plaintiff's unique spirit of never giving up, digging deeper, fighting to the bitter end. Here you always hope to see glimpses of your own firm acting like Aitken, Cohn, where they scratched and clawed, trying desperately to find hope for a case most firms would have rejected as hopeless, and they would have rejected it many times over throughout the course. Ultimately, Aitken, Cohn turned this seemingly loser into an $11 million settlement. I truly believe this case, more than all the others, will inspire you, challenge you, and it'll make us all better lawyers. Let me show you what I mean. Megan Demshki received a call from the wife of Mr. Ruehle. Her husband is in the hospital. He was in a bad motorcycle accident. Megan is a 25-year-old first-year associate going to the hospital to interview the clients. In the interview of Mr. Ruehle, he told me his exact words to Megan's were, "Don't waste your time. This accident was my fault." Mrs. Ruehle told me she was surprised and comforted by Megan's response to her husband. Don't think of it that way. Just let us do our job. Now, a lot of other firms might have quit right there. Aitken, Cohn decides not to. They get the police report. It's bad. It confirms Mr. Ruehle is at fault. He's lane splitting. He's speeding. He's the primary collision factor. The facts get worse. The only potential defendant says he activated his turn signal, checked his side view mirror, looked over his shoulder, and was halfway into the lane when he felt the impact. You wouldn't think it could get worse, but it does. There's a witness that states Mr. Ruehle is speeding while splitting lanes, driving somewhere between 25 and 45 miles an hour. Megan and Wylie are now looking towards the case. Client's own testimony is it's his fault. The police report confirms it. Most firms would be done at this point. Not Aitken, Cohn. With no additional facts, they file a lawsuit. They send out written discovery. More bad news. It's not in the course and scope, and it's a 15 policy. Most firms that had not already quit would be seriously considering ending it now. In discussions on whether to spend more money on this case, Megan tells Wylie, or Wylie tells Megan, "Megan, go take some depositions. If we lose the money, it'll be worth it. It'll teach you how to become a true trial lawyer." Quick note, in a year where diversity is now correctly a factor, that fact alone should be deserved as recognized and praised. In the deposition of the driver, Megan learns the driver is a 1099 independent contractor, coming back from lunch, walking as a campaign walker for Assemblyman Eric Linder's re-election district. Once again, a lot of firms that had remained would be considering quitting here. Undeterred, Aitken, Cohn files a complaint versus Linder versus re-election. Again, they issue rediscovery. The negative hits keep on coming. Campaign's uninsured. Confirms the 1099 status of the driver. In discussing spending more money, Wylie tells Megan, "This is what it's like to be a trial lawyer. There's always a risk. We fight for the little guy. Go take some more depositions. Welcome to the practice of plaintiff contingency law." In the depositions of Eric Linder and his campaign manager, they finally catch a break. Megan learns the California Republican Party viewed Linder's district as a priority campaign. Ladies and gentlemen, Chris and Wylie Aitken's deep and long-standing commitment to the COC truly helped them here. Their political knowledge provided them with the first real hope of finding some justice for the Ruehle family. They file a complaint alleging a joint venture between the California Republican Party and Eric Linder's campaign. Despite all the risks, they spend money like drunken sailors on leave. They take approximately 40 depositions, most of them in Sacramento. They learn that the Republican Party has used Linder's 1099 employees. The party is dictating the areas to be walked, the script that's to be read to the voters. The Republican Party was also requiring those walkers to get crucial political information on the district voters. Their goal is to build a database to help Republicans win future local, state, and federal elections. Information that will also give them knowledge on how to win or defeat ballot measures. The team also learned in discovery that the Republican Party has earmarked $400,000 for Linder's campaign, but that's contingent on the party getting the information they're requesting. During the case, the Republican Party files 2 motions for summary judgment. A conservative, most likely Republican Orange County judge issues tentative grant both times, finding not enough evidence to get liability against the state's Republican Party. The rules told me Wylie vowed both times to appeal any negative ruling. While it was under submission, the Republican Party offered $1 million to settle, but only if it's accepted before the ruling is issued. Most firms would have recommended that million and considered it a victory. not the Aitken firm or the rules. They reject it, and they ultimately defeat both motions for summary judgment. A federal declaratory relief action on federal coverage is also beat. They get a $3 million settlement 3 days before trial. Mr. Ruehle told me, knowing that the accident really wasn't my fault, gave me the ability not to blame myself and gave me a peace that was worth as much as the money for my family's mental health going forward. Ladies and gentlemen, the Ruehle case is worthy of your vote. It truly demonstrates our plaintiffs' attorneys' fighting spirit of never giving up attitudes. It challenges us to be better lawyers. Let me discuss 2 quick criteria. Aitken Cohen's commitment to COC and diversity. Nothing needs to be said about their commitment to the COC. You'd have to be blind not to see how much they've done for us since the 70s. Wylie was the youngest president ever. Chris is an active member in the organization on politics. Megan is serving as the president of the CAOY and as a board member here. Casey Johnson is on the XCOM ladder to become president and one of the most knowledgeable members on political issues and strategies. Regarding diversity, Megan was a 25-year-old woman lawyer and a first-year associate who took many of the key depositions. She was scheduled to try the case with Wylie and take testimony of key witnesses. Finally, let me remind everyone that we owe our very careers to Wylie Aitken. In 1972, then Governor Reagan had all the votes needed to make California a no-fault state. A young Wylie Aitken flew to Sacramento, convinced a young Republican senator named George Duke Majan that it's wrong to have a system where there's no accountability for one's actions. Reagan's no-fault measure lost by 1 vote, Duke Majan's. Ladies and gentlemen, a close review of all the cases tonight shows they're all amazing. But Ruehle is the only one that we have all had the experience of deciding whether or not to take a dog with fleas case and see if we can turn it into justice for a worthy client. Because of that, it truly deserves to win, and it inspires us to be better lawyers. So the Ruehle case deserves to win this award because it warrants it, first off, and Wylie Aitken and his firm have done so much for all of us and our clients. I urge you to vote for Ruehle versus the state of California Republican Party. Thank you.